Now, you're boots on the ground right now in the Bahamas. Is that right, Pro? You have eyes on Sam as we speak?
Yes. Watching him right now. I'm in the bush outside of his headquarters. He tried to move into the motel down the street, thinking that he'd be slick.
The motel.
He thought that it'd be low profile, but really, it was actually what we suspected that he'd be doing first off. So we got eyes on him.
Yeah, he hasn't shaved his head yet, so he's very noticeable. No, I just love this space. The past few days, it's just all about like these people pretending to be journalists trying to talk about the whereabouts of him or these different. It's been so much fun. So I'm glad to get back to NFT spaces.
Yeah, it's good to be talking about art again and not the rise and fall of crypto exchanges.
Well, on that note, let's dive into. Let's get on the nitty gritty, and people can kind of join in as we go. But thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm very excited to talk a little bit more about the project. My first question, and this is an abnormal question, but I feel like it needs to be said because I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing it right. How do we pronounce the project's name?
Okay, so MORTHIR. So yeah, MORTHIR.
Okay, it sounds very Tolkien-esque, like elves and dwarves kind of thing. MORTHIR.
Well,
got it.
That is the direction we were kind of going in. So I'm glad you think so. We've done a decent job.
Excellent. Well, I would love to hear kind of introduction of the three guys that we got to put out here on the stage. Kind of just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of your involvement with the Project MORTHIR.
Of course. So I'll introduce myself first. So my name is Josh. I am one of the founders at MORTHIR. In terms of my sort of role at MORTHIR, I'm co-project lead alongside Harvard, who's on stage. And I'm also the developer for the project. So I'm doing all the sort of founder as well. And it's my dad who's done all the art for the project. So I've been editing all of his art and then kind of just pushing the project on the socials and all that good stuff. So yeah. Pass on to Big Pro.
And what's up? I'm Profound. I met Josh last year, almost a year ago, crazy enough. Became quick friends with them, joining the Blocks team, and then now joining over on the team at MORTHIR. And started writing the lore and getting down to it from the art. And yeah, so now we're going big with it. We're having a lot of fun with it.
Excellent. Literally every time someone said something in their introduction, it brought up a question for me to ask. So I love that. A lot of people will just kind of introduce themselves and not give me anything to go off of, but you guys have given me a lot. And the first question is going to be Harv's question because you said your dad is the artist.
Yeah.
Do you know of, or could you think of any other father-son combos in the NFT space? And if not, do you think you might be the first?
I got asked this question. Literally, we did a space 2 hours ago, and I got asked the question, and I can't think of one. I'd like to be the self-proclaimed first father-son art project, but I won't say it just in case that is not true. But you never know. It seems likely, but yeah. So to kind of give some context, my dad's got a master's in art. He's been an artist his whole life. He's turning 50 this year, 50 next month. So he was one of the people that got me into art. And then I've been an artist in the space for about coming up on 2.5 years, 3 years on Twitter, sort of thing. And I did my own project, Blocks, and it went pretty well. And then we decided to give it a shot with my dad doing the art instead. So here we are, and all the art is hand done on paper with ink pens, which is quite insane. And we have over 60 101s that are also oil paintings that will be claimable a few months down the line as well. So yeah, pretty insane feat from my dad. He's put in an absolute worldly of a shift.
Yeah, the art really reminds me of something I can't quite put my finger on it. The first thing I want to go to is like Shel Silverstein-esque, but also like, I don't know, like the Trongdor, the Burninator, but obviously a lot more well done, like that just kind of like ridiculous shadow shading. Really love the art. So we'll get back into that, but I'll jump out now that we've asked that question. If you guys just give us a quick overview on what exactly MORTHIR is trying to be in this space. Is it something new that we've never seen before? Is this a continuation of a trend, PFP trend, or is there a game element to it? Tell us exactly what MORTHIR is to the NFT space.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to sort of pinpoint exactly what MORTHIR is. I mean, first and foremost, we wanted to create a body of amazing art, and we felt that would be the kind of best way to do that would be through the physical medium. So, I mean, we've not touched on it, but I mean, all the art is hand done, it's hand drawn and scanned in. So we feel that's sort of the first area of MORTHIR where we tried to do something different. There's no shade against digital art, because digital art's sick, but we just wanted to do something different with the sort of physical medium. So I guess that's the first point. The second point is, we wanted to tie in some lore and some storytelling as well. When we sort of had the first idea for MORTHIR, it was very much, okay, well, this is the direction we're going to go in with the art, but why not, have a story behind it? The first idea was it could almost be a game. It's kind of moved on from that, but a lot of the inspiration still derives from there. So a lot of the inspiration comes from, like pop culture, for myself, maybe music and TV shows and games that we've all grown up on. We're quite a close-knit team, so we all kind of had a great sort of input on where that's went. So yeah, like we've tried to like push the lore telling side as well, which is been gracefully done by yours truly, Profound. So, we've been doing the Medium articles and we've been building up the story as well. And we've also got some evolving NFTs as well, which, again, we did do a space previously a few hours ago. And they'd said, well, that's not something they've ever seen. So, again, that's something that kind of we're trying to bring that's a little different. And I suppose the fact that, we've already touched on it, that it's a family effort. I mean, obviously Harv and his dad, father, son. I mean, me and Harv are best mates. He's someone I consider family, so I suppose I could like try and throw myself in the family unit there.
And yeah, you're in it now. You're in it now.
And even obviously with Pro, I mean, we all met online. Pros from America, and although we're from Scotland, we're all friends and we all chat quite often. I can see Reek's just joined as well. Reek's another Scottish influence in the team, and we actually met Reek at NFT London a few weeks ago. So we're all quite close knit. We're all friends. We just want to kind of provide a good project. We're not about I don't know. We're just trying to do the right things, and we've all got good experience from different projects, and we all just came together to spearhead that for MORTHIR.
Awesome. Well, we just pinned a tweet up here that you guys are currently in your public pre-mint, which as someone who's been in the space for like 2.5 years at this point, it's funny to see how projects have evolved on like, it used to be just like, oh, our mint's today. Now it's like our whitelist public pre-mint, our pre-mint public, non-public, allow lit, like all these different kinds of things. What exactly does that mean, and when do we think that the public will be able to get their hands on this that's not whitelisted, pre-minted?
Okay, so so to begin, we've got the chosen list. So that's sort of the first phase. Ken, that's for people that have been around MORTHIR from the very beginning. I know all the collabs will also be on the chosen list. So Metaverse as well, you'll be on the chosen list. Then we move on to the public pre-mint. So we kind of wanted to do the public pre-mint. We don't want to have gas wars, and we want to break up the phases as well. There's no shame if you've missed out, in the last few months of build up to MORTHIR, and maybe your first glimpse at the collection is a week before mint, because there's plenty of projects that I've kind of fallen in love with that I've actually only figured or found out about them a week before. So I know that's our second phase. You can come on pre-mint. There's probably a fairly decent chance to winning. The raffle ends on the 18th, so there's still 4 more days. We have seen quite a high amount of entries, so yeah, if you want to get involved there, you can jump on the pre-mint, which has been pinned. And finally, we'll move on to a public phase, which is for everyone. So if there is any supply left by then anyone can jump in and get involved. But hopefully and confidently, we're not expecting to reach that. But, you know, we're happy to get everyone involved. So whatever happens, happens. You know, it's up to fate.
Yeah, I get that. So why you would love for everyone to be able to vent publicly and stuff like that. You would much rather sell out, but also be accessible to everyone to get.
Yeah, of course.
Really enough. I get it. Love it. Well, one of my favorite parts of NFT projects nowadays is, you know, hearing some of the buzzwords that come from sort of just all the different kinds of projects. You know, we're not building a project. We're building a brand. You know, we're transcending Web 2 to Web 3. Just these kinds of, like, you know, common buzzwords and things like that. But one that I feel like kind of started there for a second and then kind of phased away was we're building lore. And I feel like the reason people stepped away from it is because they realized how hard it is to build a consistent good lore in a project.
100%.
So obviously we have Pro here. Kind of just want to hear a little bit more about what exactly the lore for this project is, and maybe tell us, you know, what the theme, like thematic, you know, themes are here. Is this comedic? Is this you know, is this serious? What's the tone of the lore here, and how exactly are you guys building it?
Well, actively, Josh, Harv, and I, our biggest inspiration comes from pop culture and different references, whether that be, like you said, like Tolkien references or, you know, like whatever, like Chronicles of Narnia, The Witcher, Fallout, everything and anything. The music we listen to, that's where we gain all of our inspiration for this project. And so from that, that's where we've pulled a lot of the lore from, and where I've pulled a lot of the lore from. And instead of writing lore for Harv's dad to you know, work off of and you know, paint and do art around, this was all done from his art originally. So is written straight from the art. It's not the other way around. So anytime his dad Andrew has gotten any art done and sent it our way, that's where the lore has begun. So all the lore is really born from the art itself, which is really unique in that aspect, because it's not something that we were building and then, you know, how to fit the art into. The art itself is the lore. And so it makes it really easy to build on. There's a lot of different aspects of our lore. We have 10 creators. You know, we won't go into too much. We have articles that go into more depth about these things, and we'll have more articles coming out as time goes on. But basically, the general idea of it is we have 10 creators who had workers in themselves creating MORTHIR, and then within MORTHIR, you know, it's a unique fantasy world of a lot of different, like I said, pop culture references. And if you look into whether it be the biomes that are within that world or the people that exist within it or lead over it, I'm sure you'll find a lot of, you know, little innuendo, like Easter eggs and stuff that you would recognize from other media you've consumed in your life.
To add on to that as well, with like the characters and the world that we're building out, it all reflects within the collection, both artistically and in terms of NFTs. Like we've got, like Pro touched on, creators and workers, and these are all reflected as our physicals. So we've got 10 physical pieces that are physical oil paintings that are these creators of our world, and then 30 smaller oil paintings of the workers, and then we've got some other oil paintings that all tie into the lore as well. So it's all built around the lore, but also ties back into the, you know, the actual pieces that people will mint as well.
Right on. I love to hear the, you know, you're working with like an outside artist, obviously, Harv's dad, but instead of like trying to get everyone on board to try to like, hey, this is what the lore needs to be, we need you to like, you know, color within these lines. It's like, no. We're going to let him do his thing. Let him be the artist. and we'll work the lore kind of backwards. I actually like that a lot. Just because, again, let the artists art, and then you can build the lore off of the art, right? So that's pretty neat.
Exactly.
So, I'm looking at the pinned tweet here that we have for MORTHIR, and it seems the art runs the gamut in terms of what we're seeing. Could you maybe go into that, or is this I mean, a lot of it looks like one of ones. Maybe we're just highlighting the one of ones in the project, but are there certain traits that'll be in these, or for the is a lot of this one of one kind of work? Can you maybe explain a little bit about that?
It's a total mix of everything, really. It's like my dad's done he's done over 600 and something physical traits, and there's, I think it's over 100 one-of-ones, 60 of which being oil paintings as well now. So, like, when you look at that GIF, I think it's about 50-50 to one-of-ones to generated pieces as well. So it's a total mix of both. But it's just the fact that my dad's done so much unique work, and we were saying this in our last space, like, a lot of the times with projects, you'll see kind of reoccurring traits. Even with the project I did as well, Blocks, you see reoccurring traits that are in a bunch of different collections. Whereas because my dad's got no knowledge of the world of kind of NFTs, we've just kind of let him just take it wherever his mind goes, and he's created these absolutely like crazy traits. Like in the GIF above, there's one with like this kind of lobster mouth, which I absolutely love, and it's just totally crazy. Which is perfect for us, especially when we're building the lore, like Pro said, because we can just build it off my dad's imagination, really, and he's been able to create such a interesting and in-depth world just through his drawings. And we're just finishing up really the final stage of finalizing the 3K, and there's so much variety within the collection, both within the traits and the one-of-ones and the paintings and even the backgrounds and everything. Is a total mix. And yeah, I mean, my dad's art's just too good. It's too good. It's so good.
Awesome. Love to hear about the variety and I don't know. It's very, very unique. I still can't get over the fact that it's your dad. It's just, again, it's just super, super neat. I wish my dad wouldn't even play baseball with me, let alone do an art project with me. So, you guys are lucky. Just kidding. If my dad heard that, he'd be like, "Go fuck off! I coached you in every single sport that you played in." Anyway, getting back to the project at hand. So we have the mint, coming up, coming up right now, obviously, and then, the 21st. What, we mint out. What then? What happens then? What's the kind of the roadmap, or the general, just things that holders of MORTHIR can expect?
Okay. So we don't have a specific roadmap with dates and, okay, we're going to do this here, but we've got a lot of plans. So, I mean, the first plan is to build on the lore. We've got a lot of the stories actually being held back, and it's things that we can start to reveal once the art's been revealed. So we want to build on the story, firstly. Secondly, it's getting physical art in the hands of the holders of MORTHIR. So, as Harv touched on, we've got a lot, and I mean a lot of physicals in the collection. There is heaps of physicals in the collection. So we've not announced sort of how long you need to hold if you do mint a one-of-one, but we're going to start rolling out the physicals. Also with the evolving NFTs, so that's going to tie into the lower side as well, where there's 10 evolving NFTs within the collection. We've teased one, and we're going to save the other 9 until after mint. So if you're lucky enough to mint one of the 10, you'll see an evolving NFT over a specific period of time. Again, we've not announced that, but that'll be coming soon. And myself and Harv, we've spoken a lot about physical and in-person events. So we want to do a gallery showcase of all the physicals and all like the MORTHIR art. Obviously everything's hand done. So we've got stacks of art. I mean, I'm sure Harv can touch more on how much art his room is in, but whenever I go over to Harv and go into his office, his whole office is covered in Morthir art. So we want to showcase that as well. And yeah, just we want to run a sort of artist fund as well. So that will be sort of some of the proceeds that come from Morthir. We want to highlight other artists in the space. We want to create an artist grant where you can showcase your art. We can host other artists. Again, it all goes back to like first and foremost, like we're about art, we're about artists, and we just want to spread the good word on good art.
Awesome. And I like that. I think that more projects should go back to the good art aspect of NFTs. I feel like we've gone so far away to, we're going to build this DAO and we're going to create this crazy tool that you could use and all this stuff, when at the end of the day, a project with great art is a project with great art. And I feel like there's a big downplay on that lately, and I'm glad to see people are still working on it and trying to curate that for the community. So hats off to you guys there. We talked earlier about how you guys are all Scottish. Well, for the most part, Scottish. Sorry, bro. And you talked about NFT London. Is there anything you could maybe speak to about the state of NFTs and NFT art in the UK? Is it something that you see emerging? Is it building? Is it something that the people in London are constantly being accosted by? Like what's the vibe over there in the UK?
Okay, so I'll speak on behalf of Scotland first. I would say there's a lack of representation in Scotland with NFTs. Out with Harv and Reek, any of my mates that I grew up with, or family friends, or anyone that I speak to, if they ask, okay, can you explain what an NFT is? Okay, what's this? What's that? Absolutely no clue. I think there's a real severe lack of representation in Scotland. We went to London and it wasn't as busy as I thought it'd be personally. When we went to the NFT New York, it was bouncing. There was people from everywhere. I had an amazing time in New York. There wasn't as many events as I'd like in London, so I feel like there's more American influence in NFTs, but I suppose that's like anything where there's more people. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's quite a shame. I think we want to, we feel quite proud that we're one of few sort of Scottish like forwarded projects. Obviously we've got quite a range on the team, but and there's also been other Scottish projects that have released in the past. Reek was a part of MEMS, which was a Scottish-based project, but yeah, there's not really much representation yet. But I feel like that's with any new sort of industry where we're all so early to NFTs, and we're going to see probably cycles and cycles of new innovation, and things that worked in the past probably aren't going to work in a year's time. Again, it's like probably seeing the birth of the internet, where you go from dial-up to now it's everywhere. I mean, it's the same. It's going to be the same cycle with NFTs, and the UK will catch on whenever it catches on, and I think when it does, it will be great. But obviously, not get too political, but our new Prime Minister is very crypto, and he's very in that sort of mindset. So I could see maybe some more innovation coming from the UK soon, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, the last thing I saw from the UK related to that was NFT London and their showcase of art like the
it was awful. Yeah. I had my art. My art was being shown on the tickets of NFT London, so I got a ticket, and I was like, I might as well just go. And then I went, and I couldn't even see the room that was like that you would have seen with like the X copy in it. Like I couldn't even find it. That's how bad it was. Like we went to the art floor, and it was so bad. So I'm hoping that future events are not as much of a shambles as that. But again, remains to be seen. But yeah, NFT London, the actual conference was not it. But the events round were pretty decent, at least.
As the space always does, we party hard around the events, not necessarily at the events. So I get it. Well, awesome. Well, guys, again, your art's a vibe. You guys got a vibe to you. It's so laid back and chill, but also you seem like you understand who you are. You understand what you're doing. So I love talking to projects like that. But I wanted to, in this kind of conversation, just giving you guys, our conversation rather, we'll open up questions to the crowd for sure. But in our conversation with maybe something that we haven't brushed up on that you guys are excited about the project that maybe we haven't talked about, or at the very least, just a quick, last minute pitch to people listening to this later on or right now on why they should be excited for MORTHIR. So I'll give you guys the option of answering either of those, and we'll get on to some guest questions.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from the brief conversation we've had, we've kind of touched upon all the small aspects that make up MORTHIR, but I feel like the real stuff can happen post-mint when people have the art in their wallets. I suppose for me, I've got the collection. Harv had touched upon saying that it's almost done. As of an hour ago, I've finished the 3,000, so the collection is complete. But I always forget that, as much as I've seen the art and I'm going through it all, that no one else has seen it yet. So I think for us, the main thing is just getting the art in people's wallets. Anything art related, we're gonna be focused on that. We're gonna be pushing it. I think there's obviously a lot of things going on in the market right now, and potentially certain projects aren't getting the spotlight that they deserve. But I feel like we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through all the negativity in the space right now, and I feel like good art will always prevail. Good art's always going to be good art. So that's kind of the main thing, honestly. I could speak about how much I love art and how much I want to push art all day, but that is honestly our full focus, is just being able to share this good art with everyone and persevere and push on from there.
Yeah, pretty much nailed it. It's kind of like just showcasing the creativity and talent that my dad has and hasn't really been able to showcase in the gallery space world of traditional art, and being able to kind of take it here and adapt it around the ideas that we had anyway for a project, and then really just kind of go all guns firing on a truly good art project. I think you're going to hear the word art quite a lot, but it's really where we base everything from. And like Josh said, we've got like loads of things lined up that will all be led like from the art as well, and a lot of little projects that we've got in our minds that we can't wait to get started with as post-mint. So I said this in last space. It's always like kind of trying to tiptoe around these questions, making sure I don't tease too much, but making sure that I'm not too vague at the same time. But yeah, it's going to be we'll deal with it after mint, which is crazy that's a week today. Absolutely insane.
Awesome. Well, I don't see any questions from the crowd, so I want to make sure that I give just a quick few minutes to make sure they're there. I think we're pretty in depth on things, so wouldn't be surprised if we don't have any. But if there are none, I want to thank you, gentlemen, so much for taking time out of your night to talk to us a little bit more about art and MORTHIR. I get bullish on certain things with a project, and just a chill team who doesn't take themselves too seriously is one of those things, and obviously really great art, and I'm seeing both of those things here tonight. So thanks for not being weirdos. And thanks. Let's bring NFT conversations and spaces back to the crypto space instead of constantly trying to find out where Sam from FTX is. That's where I'm at now. So
let's talk art.
Let's talk art. Well, gents, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having us, and thanks to Metaverse as well. Hopefully your holders enjoy MORTHIR. I know we distributed some spaces as well, so hopefully everyone enjoys, and hopefully everyone turns up for the 21st.
Hell yeah, I know this guy will be. So thanks so much, y'all. Everyone have a good night, and stay safe.